what you deal in, how we can reach out to you, your GlobalLinker profile. So do use the chat box and network with one another. Also, during the session, if you would like to ask us any question, please use the Q&A section at the bottom so that your question is not missed out. Usually, based on the volume of messages in the chat box, we tend to miss it out. So a very warm welcome to all of you. We will start the session sharp at 1:05. But in the meanwhile, I would encourage you all to introduce yourself. Also, the way we'll do this session today is we'll keep it as interactive as possible so that all of us can make the most of it. All your queries can be solved. Any feedback can be received. In case you would want us to do webinars on a specific topic, you could mention that. So let's stay actively engaged with each other so that we really can make the most of this networking opportunity as well. So I recall in the past few sessions, we actually saw some trade happen between a buyer and a seller in these first 5 minutes of the networking session. So it's possible that when you introduce yourself, you talk about what you deal in, your products, your services, you actually can catch the attention of a prospect customer. So that's the reason why it's really critical to introduce yourself. So we will start the session at sharp 1:05. Nice to see all of you here today. So a research recently conducted basically indicated that about 40% of businesses actually will die out in the next 10 years if they don't adopt new technologies as well as new digital mediums. So it is the session today is basically to help you understand what are the various ways in which you can stay updated and of course safeguard you from the threats that the future poses. So can I see in the chat box or a raise of hands to understand if anybody here in the audience has already attended any sessions in the past from GlobalLinker? If not this one, but any other sessions? Can we see any yes and no's? First time here, new. Great. So one thing before we start as well is that whenever you're sending a text message, please do send it to everyone so that everybody knows what you're saying. Otherwise, the first by default, it comes as hosts and panelists so that only we can see. Okay, I can see a raise of hands as well. I can see most of you all are first-time members. So good to know that. The session today basically is to tell you a little about GlobalLinker, about why you should have a digital presence, about the importance of having a digital presence for a business. So we will get started in about a minute. Let me just check if everything is working fine in terms of sharing my screen. And I can see that you all have started using the chat box. Good afternoon, Mr. Ramprasad, Rituraj, Tomar. Any opportunity for women in export-import business? Yes, 100%. It's not limited to women. There is a lot of opportunity in import-export. So stay tuned and understand how to kind of use that. Some of our members are asking for the session in Hindi. We have different sessions planned in Hindi. So I would request you to join that. Okay, so it's 1:05. We'll get started now. I'll take a moment and just share my screen. Okay. So, hello and welcome to all of you here today. I am honestly very excited to see you all. And I would encourage all of you to use the chat box, interact with us as well as each other. Let's really make the most of this opportunity. Now, the way we'll do this session is that we'll keep it really interactive. And the best way for you to also learn is to stay actively engaged, respond with yes, no, maybe, or even answer the questions that I'll be asking. Use the chat section, send in any queries, comments, feedback. What we will cover today is basically a broad overview of GlobalLinker. I will also show you a live demo of this about how you can use various features on the platform. We'll then move on to why is it important to have an online or a digital profile, and how do you make one, how can you make it as rich as possible. And then we'll move on to when, why, where, and how to sell online. And of course, then how do you really attract prospect customers. And then we'll do a Q&A round. I will intentionally leave more time for the Q&A rather than doing a one-way communication so that all your questions can be answered. But don't wait till the end of the session to send in any of your queries. Okay. So, how many of you here today know about GlobalLinker? It'll be nice to know what you know about GlobalLinker. So use the chat box and tell me what you know about GlobalLinker. Anything, whatever you understand of GlobalLinker and how, what is your interpretation of it so that I can tell you what it really is. A networking platform, okay. Connecting businesses, absolutely. Platform for Indian exporters to showcase their products, wonderful. Portrays our profile worldwide, absolutely 100%. Links us globally, yes, just very true to the name GlobalLinker, it links us globally. Okay, so we'll get started now. Like, just to put it in simple terms, we all use Facebook to really connect with friends and LinkedIn to possibly connect for jobs or work updates. But GlobalLinker is a world of opportunities in relation to business. So it is indeed a reality where business owners are connecting with each other. It's a B2B networking platform with over 4 lakh plus members across the world who are talking to each other about how do I source new raw material, or who are actually engaging new distributors, who are appointing agents, sharing awards, or even sharing new product launches, discussing about their achievements, about their challenges, posting discussions about what is it that they would want to know as a business. So treat it as your online business circle. So this community is actually free to join, but is only by invite. So I'm happy to tell you and happy to know that you've all been invited by large organizations or government bodies to be a part of this platform. So let me actually now go ahead and show you a glimpse of how the platform looks like and what all you can do using GlobalLinker. I will actually log into my profile and showcase to you how that looks like, so that when you go back, you can actually feel connected to that experience. So on my screen, you can see that I've logged into my own profile. It is very similar to how you use any other social platform. You're able to see on the left-hand side your profile, your company details, what all activity you are doing on the platform, as well as on the right-hand side, you can see what are the recommended connections, what are the kind of articles that you would want to go through. Now, in the middle, this section is where all the activity really happens by members. So either if you are a business who wants to ask any question, wants to understand any business opportunity, or wants to connect with buyers, with sellers, here is where you will be able to share any idea, any opinion, any suggestion, all of that with all the other members. So use this to, I actually, and this can be in text as well as in images, use this to do that. For example, just yesterday I posted about certain buyer queries that are happening from foreign countries outside of India. So just like this, you can actually stay up to date with what are the kind of information that is being posted, but also use it to disseminate your own information and your own content. So if you see here, I'm just going to scroll and show you what others are doing. For example, this member here is introducing the exporter, talking a little about what they're doing. Or my colleague has actually posted about this event that you are attending today. Or for example, this organization is talking about what they deal in, what they're selling, putting up photographs of their products, or a business opportunity in terms of looking for buyers. So varied things, activities happening on the platform. It's important for you to also get involved in that. Now, let me come to what are the different tools and features that you can use. Now, over here on my screen, I clicked on resources and went on to the knowledge tab, which takes us to the articles bit. So the articles is basically where you can consume rich content, rich information. So in case, for example, there's Federation of Indian Export Organizations that actually puts up weekly trade alerts. So this is where you can stay in touch with what is happening in the industry. Or for that matter, Retailers Association of India, they put up all trends, patterns, insights about what's happening in the retail industry. Or for example, members like yourself, for example, Mr. Pramod Veturi, he writes a lot in the learning and development space, or Mr. Arnab Ray writes in business development. So why are businesses doing this? First of all, gone are the times that we actually put up posts or put up posts that say I deal in XYZ and expect that people will actually want to connect with you. It's now about, there are various businesses dealing in these XYZ products. How do you stand out? How do you differentiate from the others? So unless you share information or build that trust and credibility, that actually will make a mark in the mind of the viewer. So now I know that Mr. Arnab Ray is actually telling me what are the 5 different myths about business planning. So the minute I read that article and I feel, yes, he knows what he's saying, he knows his subject well, he's a domain expert, I will interact with him and try to see if I have that requirement, I'll reach out to him. But if Arnab Ray just said that I have services which will help you in business development, it's not necessary that I would actually go ahead and interact with them, right? So while you can actually read and consume a lot of information here, it's important you also start contributing here. It can be as simple as a very small article. It can be in the form of images. It can be in the form of a small write-up about what you think you want other businesses to know. So, or what you want to read. So for example, Vakil Search as an organization puts for time and again about various legal aspects that businesses should know about. So this is about the articles section. But moving quickly on to the groups. Now, a lot of us want to join like-minded groups. So let's say I'm interested in fashion. I would join a group that already has fashion members in it so that I can interact with like-minded businesses. Or for that matter, there are groups which are in accounting, there are groups for import exports, there is BSc putting in their information. People are discussing various resources, tips, bonus areas. So all of that is happening, and it's just a matter of how you get engaged into this so that you can also make benefit from this, and it's a win-win for everybody. So use this to actually join groups of what you are interested in. Then comes the event section. So the event section is basically an area where a lot of organizations ranging from small and medium enterprises to large organizations who are actually putting up what are the events that are being hosted by them as an organization. Let's say you registered for this event here, you would have seen it in the event section, but there are other areas like promote your e-commerce store, how do you get customers, foreign buyers. So not only limited to GlobalLinker putting up their posts or their events, a lot of other organizations also do it. So you need to stay abreast with these information. But if you are an organization who wants to create an event, let's say you have a physical meetup and you want to tell other business owners that you have this event, you could post it here and get access to a lot of other businesses owners like yourself. Now, since this is pretty self-explanatory, let's quickly move on to the offers bit. I'll come to the catalog section in a short while. But what is the offers section? So here we have tried to curate a range of services from market leaders or let's say domain experts in various areas that we identify that you as a business owner might be facing a challenge with. So right from you want to rent an office space, or you're looking at, let's say, opening a current account, or you need working capital, or you want an overdraft, or you want to actually just maybe put in any accounting software onto your platform, all of that is curated here from various market leaders. And not only that, it's actually pre-negotiated for you. So because we are a community of 400,000 members together, the rates are negotiated and you don't have to worry about one, getting good service, and two, getting it at the right price. So this is something you can definitely explore. Now, coming to the online store or the catalog section, this is an area where a lot of members today, over 20,000 plus online sellers on GlobalLinker, are using this feature and benefiting from it. And what is an online store is basically, first of all, not limited to B2C businesses. A lot of times people think that it's just for B2C businesses who have products and can sell it to directly to their customers. So it's not limited to that. If you're a B2B business, also you can have your digital catalog. If you are an industrial goods product as well, you can have it. And let me show you a couple of examples. So here is a business of based in Telangana who actually does sustainable products. Now they have created this store on their own and showcasing their collection, putting up what are their best sellers, putting up aesthetic images, and as well asking for information from their customer. Appealing images are put up, or even social media feed comes on here. So there are various tools that you as a business can use, right from even showing what is happening behind the scenes. Let me also show you another industrial product store. So this is a store that deals in beveling machines, and they actually had this criteria that I can't show my price to all my customers. There are some products which have customized pricing. So here is a feature they're using, which basically is that some products they're showing the price, whereas some other products they're saying price upon request, send enquiry. So when a customer comes to their website, they're actually capturing that lead, not just showing information and then the customer is lost what to do next. They're actually inviting the customer to send in an inquiry for that product, then a customization happens. Or let's say you deal in B2B and you have bulk quantities, you can't define a price. That's when also you will use this feature. So now that I showed you a little about how the platform looks like, let's just go back to our presentation. Okay, so I hope you all have now understood a little about what GlobalLinker is, but the primary agenda is for this solution is to make business owners discoverable as well as transaction ready. So you should be in the eyes of your customer, as well as you should be able to service them. And we'll see how that happens. Now, I'm sure as business owners, resources are limited. All of us have resources which are limited, and we really need to use them wisely. So I'd like to ask you all a question. What is the most limited resource for you? Can you tell me in the chat box, what is your most limited resource? Time. Okay. What else? Funds. Okay. No online presence. Okay. Marketing. Okay. Time and funds, finding international buyers, bandwidth. Okay. What else? Capacity, buyer, money, manpower, selling. Okay, great. So we all recognize and identify that these resources are limited. So it's important for us to plan properly and invest them in the right direction. In the session ahead, I'll actually tell you what are the various channels and ways in which you can actually tell your prospect customers that you are ready to service them, that no matter where they are, when they want you, you are available. So again, before we move forward, and I can see a lot more responses, suppliers, contacts, trust, absolutely. So before we move forward, let me ask you all to draw a tree. Draw a tree in under 5 seconds in your mind or on paper. Just simply draw a tree. Okay. So can I ask you all, how many of you actually drew a tree like this? 2 lines for barks and then a bush on top as a cloud, just like the way we were taught as kids. Did we draw a tree like that? No. Okay. Yes, I did. I did. Yes. Yes. Okay. So we've seen in the past as well, over 95% of people actually drew a tree the way we were taught as kids, 2 lines for the barks and then a cloud on top for the bush. Mr. Naresh is saying the roots are important, sure. But what I'm trying to bring about here is that if we were all in a group, if let's say we were meeting physically, or if we were in a competition, let's say I made you all in groups of 5 each and gave you this competition of drawing a tree, I can vouch for it that you would have made it as creative as possible, with colors, with roots, with fruits, with painting it, all of that. So networking or just being with a group of people and thinking about a challenge or thinking about a particular area really ignites a new idea or a spark. So I tried to give you a small example, but go back and think about the things that you're doing on a routine basis every single day at work. Can it be done differently? If you have friends and family around, if you have business connections that you've actually built over time by networking with each other, talk to them. It's not necessary that you will get solutions from them, but it will help you yourself identify that you are doing this in a very routine or a mundane fashion, and it's time to change. It's time to bring in that spark. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that thought on why networking is important, but let's identify why should we really build our own sales channel. So as a business, I'm sure first of all times are changing, and times are changing rapidly, so we should as well, right? So let me ask you all, have you ever clicked on block the advertisement or clicked on skip ad or paid a fee to actually remove ads as of today? Yes, yes, yes. We are all guilty of that, right? We all have done it. But on the other hand, how many of us have actually followed an influencer or followed a celebrity, followed a film star, we followed them because there is a difference. The difference is that we want to follow good content rather than promotional content. We want to see what are the products or services they're using, such that we can relate with it, that this is the benefit that they are getting and I will get it as well, rather than just, okay, this is the product and this is the information, let's just go ahead and purchase. So times are changing now. Consumers are trusting humans rather than promotional content. So we really need to invest time in building our own brand. Otherwise, we'll not be noticed. And I'll elaborate a little more about that. But diversification on marketplaces. Most of you today surely must have your products listed on Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, etc., or any other, whichever industry you deal in. But as a consumer, just stop for a second and think, when you transact on any of these marketplaces, let's say, for example, you go on to flipkart.com and you want to buy a pen. Do you read the name of the seller? We only know that we're buying from Flipkart or Amazon. We don't think of the name of the seller. Very rarely, occasionally, not really, absolutely, we don't. And therefore, it's important that we make a mark for ourselves. Being on marketplaces is important to get customers, but having your own website, having your own digital presence, having your own digital sales channel really will make that difference in getting that brand name in the mind of your consumer. So okay, so now that we know why and how to get started, let me tell you, at GlobalLinker we have over 20,000 plus sellers who are actively using the digital catalog capability and benefiting from it. I've been personally in conversation with them for the past 4 years now, and a lot of them have shared data, insights, learnings, which we're trying to collate and share with all of you so that we can learn and grow together. But before we again move forward, let me ask you, how many of you here shop online today? Do you purchase anything at all online? It can be, let's say, on a website, it can be on a marketplace, it can be probably buying grocery from Big Basket or whatever. So Mr. Mohammad Anis says almost everything. Okay. So now I'd like to ask you, do you actually sell online? Whatever your business category is, do you allow your customers to shop online from you? 95% of us said we buy online, but I can already see the no's come up that we don't yet sell online. Again, so this is another thing, that when we want to experience the convenience of getting the product at home, the convenience of actually paying online, or even the convenience of seeing the variety at a time that we want to, not necessarily when the shop is open. If we want to experience all of that, it's important to realize that our customers want to as well. So let me actually move on to what are the 5 stages of digitization. The first is that you lay the foundation. How do you lay the foundation? By creating an online presence. Then you build it by staying active. Then you promote your products and services or your business, either, let's say, by social media, by digital marketing, SEO, SEM. And then you scale up. You look at growing your business by relying on data, on trends. Then you work towards, how do I increase my profits? How do I reduce my costs? And at the end of all of this, you want to sustain it. You want to get repeat customers. You want to then earn goodwill. You want to build loyalty, right? But you might argue, even after all of this, that I have been doing business traditionally for years now. My customers come to my store and purchase my goods. So why should I move online? Or even Mr. Vijay says here that I don't think this will work for exports. So let's see how this will work in the form of an example. So we have Mr. Mohammad Anis, our member here today. So let's say Mr. Mohammad Anis has a footwear store in Mumbai, in Andheri, and he gets 50 customers every single day. He's making profits, but he wonders, how does he really expand? So I'd like to ask all of you, any ideas on how Mr. Mohammed can actually expand his business from 50 customers a day to, let's say, 500 customers a day? What are the various things that he should do to expand this business? Any thoughts? SEO, digital marketing, okay. What else? Online presence, marketing, brochures, expanding to stores, different stores, digital marketing, run discounts, do a sale. Okay, great. So let's say providing solutions. So let's say Mr. Naresh, who said that running discounts, let's say Mr. Mohammad Anis agrees to that and he runs a 50% discount on all his products. And now from 50 customers a day, he's reached 200 customers a day. He's very happy, he's ecstatic that he's been able to grow so much. But think about it, his profits have gone down, even though his customers have increased. So somebody here, I think Mr. Vijay said, go online or something to do with SEO and digital marketing. So let's say now Mr. Vijay suggests that create an online store. What happens by this? Let's analyze that. So what happens is basically that once you create your online store, you have a lot of data and you ought to have a lot of insights. So Mr. Anis actually now identifies that between 5 to 6 p.m. on every Tuesday, I don't have customers coming. And he runs a promotional discount only at that time. Between 5 to 6 p.m., he runs that sale of 50%, which he was doing on all other days. And guess what? He now has new customers who's coming to his store on Tuesday between 5 to 6 for that discount, but they're also experiencing the product. But his regular customers continue to transact from him during his non-lean periods. So this really basically not only do his profits stay intact, but he gets the right audience as well. And then his friend, another, let's say I go to his store and say that I actually started my journey digitally 5 years back. And what you're doing today, I did 5 years back. I started, first I was physically present. Then I thought of doing a mix of physical and digital, which is now phygital. So I actually had a store, but I also went online. I started getting customers online and retained my physical customers. Then I started expanding my online presence across the country. But today I get orders from Australia, from Africa. I started exporting my products. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that with digital, the sky is the limit. You won't be restricted to, let's say when he was in Andheri with a physical store, restricted to the 5 kilometers area around him, or restricted by various other parameters, let's say COVID, let's say whatever unforeseen circumstances. So I'm going to leave you with this thought on why it's important to go online, if not 100%, but at least a hybrid model. But let me quickly actually take you through a digitization index in which we've tried to factor in the various stages that you may be as a business owner. Okay, so starting with maybe, let's say, all the business functions, be it marketing, sales, operations, logistics, have various areas for digitization. In marketing, for example, with a logo, you don't have a logo, you create an ad hoc one, then you move on to a professional logo. Or in an online profile, you don't have a profile, you create a basic one, you complete it, and then you move on to an active profile. Then you start contributing articles, posting discussions, solving other people's questions, or then you start with an informational based website. You then start doing promotions, and then you go on to an integrated e-commerce store. But the idea here is for you to realize that in the digital space, the goalpost keeps changing. If you don't have a social media page, you create one. But when you create one, your goalpost has now changed to how often do you post? Do you post once a week? Do you post once a day? How do you then progress? Do you then move on to paid promotions? Do you move on to creating a social media store? Or let's say you don't have a Google business listing. You then create it, you then promote it. So what I'm trying to bring about here is that it's important for you to keep moving ahead, because each step makes a huge significant impact in your business, right? So let's move on to some other business function. So let's say operations or sales. Now you are tracking data efficiently, you're making B2B transactions online, but are you allowing your B2B customers to order from you online? Can I ask you, is this a scenario where if you are a manufacturer, your distributor still has your salespeople come to them, manually showcase, this is my catalog, please book your order? Does that happen today? At least with 80% of the businesses I've interacted with the past, it happens. This is something you can change very easily. In fact, we at GlobalLinker have a product which can help you digitize your entire supply chain, which can help you empower your partners, right from the distributors as well as retailers. You will be able to customize minimum order quantity, discounts, credit limit. No distributor will see other details of any other distributor. So everything can be digitized so that it becomes a little more efficient and effective for you. If you are a business who wants to know a little more about this digitizing of supply chain, drop in a message and we'll have somebody call you to do an expert demo. But I'm going to really leave you with the thought that it's important for you to stay digitized. No matter what stage you are in, the building block needs to be settled now so that you can build a castle later on. So start progressing really today. And we are going to move on to the Q&A section so that we can actually answer all your questions live. I am showcasing my contact details on the screen, but let me also just put it in the chat box. Do drop in a message or an email if you do have any further questions even after the session. Mr. Vijay says, I agree fully with you, madam, about going digital. But he also says, I did posting on Instagram company page, many views, but unfortunately no orders. So again, Instagram is one small aspect in the social media circle. Social media itself is a very small aspect in the digital space. So if X is not working, let's quickly move on to Y, or identify what is going wrong in X, right? Why are people seeing your product but not buying? Is there something to do with trust? For example, when I go onto a website and if I see incomplete information, I might not buy. I don't know if the product is going to come to me. Maybe there's a lot of fraud going on otherwise. So you need to build that trust. You need to maybe start putting in sample quantities. You need to put in smaller value products so that once I purchase a product, I know that yes, if I purchase from this brand, I will first of all get the product. The product will be in good quality. It will come to my doorstep. So let's kind of just take everything step by step. Okay, so moving to the next question, I can see now, how do we utilize the GlobalLinker networking and IBP portal? Let me just showcase to all of you what Mr. Pratik Dalal says about the IBP portal. IBP stands for the Indian Business Portal, and I saw a lot of questions in the past also come about around exports. So let me share my screen and show you what the Indian Business Portal is. So here on my screen, you can see this is an international trade hub. Simply put, it is basically connecting Indian sellers with foreign buyers. So it is a portal developed and by Federation of Indian Export Organization in collaboration with GlobalLinker. But the idea is to bring a special focus on Indian products with a focus on geographical indicators, but also be able to give you access to foreign buyers. So it's a very unique model. It's a very unique marketplace. So on my screen here, you can see here is where a lot of buyers are posting. Let's say this buyer from Austria is looking for ashwagandha. You could actually submit your interest if you deal in that, or somebody is looking for Indian handicrafts and handlooms. So so this already is a fully functional marketplace. There are over 3,000 plus suppliers from India who have actually put in their catalogs to the marketplace. So all you need to do is build your online store on GlobalLinker. And how do you do that is by coming here, you go on to online store, you build your store, and if you're not able to do it on your own, we have a assisted service where we create the store for you. This happens at a nominal cost based on the customizations required. But if you're interested in that, you can drop me a message and I'll be happy to arrange a call for you. But you could do it on your own free of cost. Once your store is ready, you could tell us, we will link it to the Indian Business Portal. If you have any questions around this, you can ask me now. So Mr. Mohammed Anis, how is GlobalLinker benefiting us in getting international buyers? I'm not sure I understand the question properly. We are trying to help link businesses with opportunities. So whether it is a domestic opportunity or an international opportunity, GlobalLinker's agenda is for businesses to find value in getting to the right customers. Mr. Ankur Jain, why listing option is taking too long for the approval for products listing? There could be somewhere that your product has been rejected by the team. I would request you to please write me an email with your profile, and we will have it identified what went wrong or why it's not been approved yet, and we'll come back to you. So request you to please drop me an email. I am putting my email ID again in the chat box. Just send me your profile and we'll have it checked. Mr. Naresh, I had posted a lot of questions on chat. Please go on top. I'd request you to please use the Q&A box and send them again, since they've been missed in so many other messages that are coming in. Mr. Vijay, does the linking happen automatically between GlobalLinker and Indian Business Portal? So once you create your online store, we as a team review your store, whether it meets the certain criteria. Products have been uploaded, images have been uploaded. In fact, my colleague here will post in the chat box what are the do's and don'ts of actually getting onto the Indian Business Portal. So I'd request Adnan, if you can just put up that link. But once that happens, if you feel that your store is up to the mark, you can send us a mail and we will automatically then check it and link your business. If not, you can wait for your turn to come as well. I want your help for the promotion of my products, Mr. Sandeep. Mrs. Sandeep, I would request you to actually drop me a message or an email, and we'll be happy to factor that in. I'm just trying to see if I can send you a link. Okay, I'll send that again. How do we satisfied with my answer? Okay, so how do we get rid of cyber crimes and trust on GlobalLinker website? Any security, or only can we rely on brands? So first of all, on GlobalLinker, we are a PCI DSS compliant platform. You can go ahead and search that on the web. All sorts of checks are done in terms of our platform being safe. Right from there are no crashes, there is all audits happening in place. In fact, we have many banking partners who also do it. So don't worry about anything on GlobalLinker. But what happens is that there are a lot of buyers or sellers who do perform certain kinds of crime or fraud or scams. Now that can't be avoided at this time. We are putting in any kind of check that is possible to verify certain buyers and sellers, but that does not say that you will not actually receive it. You should do your complete check from your end as well. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so are there any other further questions that would want to be answered? Another thing is we have daily training sessions at 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday on how do you create your online store, or how do you, let's say, upload a product, change inventory, how do you add pricing, delete information. All of that is taught step by step. That's one way. Another way is that we have pre-recorded material that you can use to kind of see it at your convenience and then implement it in creating your digital catalog. Or the third way is where you come to us and tell us that I need help in doing it, so we do it for you. I can see some more questions. How to get details about buyer through this platform? Mr. Vijay, the first step is where on the Indian Business Portal, once you submit the form, all these sellers are sent to the buyer, and then they shortlist and go ahead and interact with the selected sellers. But after a certain duration of the requirement being posted on the portal, we also send out an email to all the sellers who have applied with the buyer contact details, such that you can interact with them and discuss if you were not shortlisted as well. So I hope that answers your question. Any modules for digital marketing from Mr. Naresh? So we have partners who can help you with digital marketing, SEO, social media. So if you're interested in that, I'd request you to write me an email and we'll connect you to the right partner. My colleague here, Adnan, has actually put in the link to the training session, which happens Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. Hope you only buyers to put up requests about basic details. Mr. Avinash, I would request you to please ask your question in detail. I'm not sure what you're saying. Can I hire your services from Mr. Sandeep? Absolutely, 100%. Please drop me an email or a message and we'll be happy to connect you with the right team. My colleague Adnan has also put in what are the do's and don'ts for actually listing your products or services in the Indian Business Portal. You could view that video and get certain insights. Are there any other questions that would want to be answered? It's been such a nice experience today with all of you. I really appreciate that you were all very interactive as well as engaged. There is one thing that I'd like to tell you, that we have a special giveaway. So if you are a business who wants to get shortlisted for this giveaway, all you need to do is basically post on any of your social media pages. It can be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, basically about how you benefited from today's session or feedback about today's session on any of your social media pages. Send that URL to me and we will shortlist you for the giveaway. And the giveaway is basically a one-on-one exclusive review with an in-house e-commerce expert. They will go through your digital journey and give you advice on what you should do next. So let's say you don't have a profile, how do you create one, what you should be doing, or you've started your journey on creating your online catalog, where what is looking wrong, what should you improve, how do you improve it. It will be a half-an-hour session. So if you want to be a part of this giveaway, do go ahead and in fact do it right away. Send us the URL either on my email or on my phone number, and we'll be happy to shortlist you. Thanks for your valuable guidance. Any other questions? Great session, patient. Okay, great. I also enjoyed hosting this session. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for actually spending 1 hour from your busy schedule in attending this, so that you can learn how to go digital, how to actually invest in the right direction for your own business. So thank you for joining in. If you do have any comments or if you do have any requests about what is the next session that you would want us to host, do write to us and we'll be happy to factor that in. Thank you everybody for joining in.